Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Apex EDC 88 coming in with I guess, a follow-up review of the Microtech SOCOM Elite 2018 version. I did a video a couple weeks ago on the first impressions of it, and on that video, when I opened up the box, the centering on that blade, the overall impressions were great, but the centering was way off. It was way off to the lock side. And what I did was I got it from Blade HQ. Shout out Blade HQ. They actually, you know what? Sorry about that. Blade Ops. Blade Ops. Well, Blade HQ is awesome too. I get knives from them too. But anyway, this was from Blade Ops, so apologize about that. Shout out Blade Ops. They actually helped me out with the customer service. Is great. I gave them guys a call, told them what was going on. One of the gentlemen that answered the phone said that he was gonna check himself personally and make sure the centering was correct on a replacement knife. So he did that. I sent the other one back for the centering being off. I tried to fix it. I messed with the pivot, did all that good stuff. I couldn't center for the life of me. It just wasn't happening with that knife for some reason. So anyway, he straightened me out, sent me another one. This one's good to go. So that's a good thing. But anyway, other than that, I love the knife. Spoiler alert right there. But let's get into some specs real quick on the knife. It's going to be a tip down. Obviously, everybody knows that. Usually the SOCOM Elites are all tip down. Let's see here. The handle material is 7075 aluminum, which is pretty much what's used on higher end AR-15 lowers from what I'm told. And then usually a lot of the other aluminum is the 6061. So this one's just basically a lot stronger, a lot more durable. And the only other knife that I know of that's using this, and there's another video out there about a guy talking about the same thing that he noticed as well with that type of material. Anyways, let's see. Overall length is going to be 9 inches. Blade length is going to be 4 inches. Cutting edge is going to be 3.75. Blade width is going to be 1.125. Blade thickness is 0.19, and the blade steel in this one is a M390. Blade style is going to be a clip point. The blade grind is going to be flat, and the finish, I believe, is a DLC or whatever Microtech's using on their for their paint or whatnot. It's a very durable. I already did quite a bit of cutting with this on cardboard and like zip ties and stuff like that, and I'm not really seeing anything on there. Let's see, the handle length is going to be 5 inches. The handle width is 1.375. Handle thickness is 0.55. And let's see here, the overall weight is 5.36 ounces. And this one's a manual version. And the model number on this particular knife is 160-1. Because they have different styles or whatnot, color, satin, Tanto style, whatever. Alright, let's see here. So let's get to the centering on this here. So here's the, lockup, by the way. Lockup on this one is beautiful. It's nice and early. Let's see if we can get it in there. Let's see if I can. So the lockup is, I'd say about 35-40% maybe. It's kind of hard to see the shadowy side right here. I got to get some better lighting, which I'll do. Just bear with me on this. Let's see here. The grind also, on most knives, obviously, is always kind of off. Usually it's never perfect. I got a KME, so it's a little rough, but I hit this with my KME to make it even on each side, because it was a little off, like really shallow on this side and high on this side, and didn't really care for that. So anyway, overall, like I said, the knife, I really like it. Very happy with it. Very sturdy, solid lockup. I don't have any blade play in either direction. One thing I wanted to talk about quickly, though, with this blade is the other day I went out with my son to the park, and there was some sand in a beachy area, which I wasn't really too aware of. So with this being tipped down, as you can see there, this was exposed. Just like this. This is what you're seeing. So you got a big gap in here. So my son ended up throwing some sand at me, which I wasn't planning on. and the sand got right into the action in here. I got quite a few granules of sand that went right up in here. And I didn't really think about it till I got home and I opened the knife, just kind of messing around with it, and I heard it crunching gritty. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I looked and, yep, there was some sand all in the action. So that's kind of, you know, something, just being a tactical knife and, you know, all that other stuff. You got to think about that, like dust blowing or whatever. You get a lot of grit in there. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out on top of that, though, this is what I'm not too sure of or why they did this. Let's see if we can get this in here. I'm probably not going to be able to see this. Let's see if I can. Not going to be able to. Damn, I should have had a flashlight with me. You know what? Hold on one second. I'm going to get a flashlight. I'll be right back. So, let's see if we can get that. I'll try to get this in here. You could see that little spiral blade stop in the back there. It looks like a little screw, like a thick screw. You can see little spirals. And you could actually see it on the blade right here. Those little oil spots you see right there. How it's 3 little lines. Well, what I'm not sure about with that, why they designed that or not, is what I'm thinking is those grooves are designed so that when you get stuff built up in that pocket when it's in the closed position, if you get gunk and stuff built in there, I think that's that screw pattern. I know it's really hard to see, but I think that screw pattern in the back there is like that so that I could move that debris down and keep it out of the action, like keep the action somewhat functioning. That I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what it is, because even with all that sand in there, this knife was still able to open and lock up perfectly. So I flicked it a few times, even though it was cringy for me to do it. It was really gritty, but I mean, it was locking up perfect every time. And I think, like I said, that some of that material might move down those little channels down in that little screw looking thing back there, which is it's not a blade stop. It actually stops the blade only when the blade is closed. In the closed position, it touches this part of the blade right here, which you can see those little oil lines right there, which is wearing a little bit of the DLC too on top of that. Not a big deal. Now when the blade is in the open position, the only thing that's holding it open is you got your thumb studs. And I was looking at these thumb studs up close to, and it doesn't look like it's steel. It looks like it might be titanium, or it might be the same material as the handle, 7075, because when you flick this thing open, these thumb studs are whacking up against the frame pretty hard. So it's got to be durable, you know. So, and it doesn't look steel. It feels light. It doesn't feel like super solid or dense or heavy. So this could be titanium, could be 7075. Not sure. Let's see. Ergonomics, I like a lot on this knife. It fit real nice in the hand. You got some jimping up here, which kind of seems like, well, why the hell is this jimping ramped downwards? Well, you know what? It actually does work really good for me anyway. When I was cutting cardboard and stuff, I just put my thumb right here and I'm just ripping right through it, tearing right through it. So it actually does pretty good. And then obviously back here, you could choke, you know, back up here on it, the spine. I know the lighting's kind of crappy. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's a drop shutty action. Might not be able to get it in camera because I got a setup here that's kind of not the best. But see, the blade just drops. And then the detent is also really good. The old SOCOMs, I guess you're able to shake out, but let's check out this detent. So I'm just going to push down, and then you'll see it just go right in. Let's see. Push down. And it just snaps shut. There is no shaking this blade out. I shook the crap out of it, and it ain't shaking out. Which brings me to my next thing. If you guys like to, it's not really one of those knives that you just grab by the thumb stud and slowly, kind of ease it out. See, I had to put a lot of pressure to do that. It's not one of those knives like a Chris Reeve or something where you just push the stud and you kind of ease it out. Or you could flick it. This one is kind of designed to flick out, fast. It almost seems assisted, but it's not. It's just, you just put a little pressure, and it just snaps out without even really trying to. So it's not really one of those knives that you can do super slow and kind of creep it out. It's not, you can, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. It wants to jump out at you. So, let's see, once again, that detent, it just snaps shut. Beautiful. I like it. It ain't opening up. And the center, you can see now here, see if I can much, much better. It's almost perfect centering, pretty much is dead on. Right there, you can see that little tip lines up perfectly with the scales mating right there at that little point, that little line. I guess the old SOCOMs had some rattle to this glass breaker too. This glass breaker does not rattle. It's super, super solid in there. So they must have fixed that. Got your little carbide ball bearing. This is running on washers. It is running on washers that are actually, I'm sorry, it's caged ceramic ball bearings. So that's what it's running on, ceramic ball bearings, and the detent is also ceramic detent, so that's nice. And the ball bearings in here, for what it's worth, are kind of large. They're not like little tiny, little itty bitty bearings. They're kind of large. Let's see here. I took this knife apart. I can take it apart on video if you guys want me to show you a breakdown. I take it apart and put it back together. It's fairly simple. It's not that hard at all. Looks like it would be, but it's really not. This clip might be titanium. Not 100% sure on that. Feels like it might be titanium. The lock in here, the liner lock, is titanium. And like I said, I wish I knew exactly what these thumb studs are. I swear, I think they're titanium, but who knows? Anyway, let's see here. Grip. It used to be sandpaper, I guess. Never had an old SOCOM. Wish I did. Sorry, I can't compare it to that. This one is more like a rubbery, but it feels nice. I like it. It feels good. Beautiful finish on the aluminum anodizing. Nice jimping. I guess the old SOCOMs didn't have this jimping on the back here. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn pictures I seen didn't have this. Let's see. Lanyard hole. Anyway, like I said, I'm very happy with the knife. The first one that I got, like I said, centering was off, so don't know why Microtech sent it out like that, but it happens. So now this one's perfect. Love it. I would recommend this knife. It's coming in at $285. If you got the kind of money to shell out for it, I think this would be a nice knife to use for all kinds of, you know, one of those do-it-all type knives. Although, like I said, with that top deal there, that big old gap you have from the blade tang and the frame, you get stuff in there. But once again, with that little screw thing, that little pattern that's in there, that I think it might be designed so that when the knife opens, whatever grit builds up in here just pushes it right through those channels, and it just kind of feeds it back into the handle of the blade, which then comes out of these holes. So I think that might be what it is. I don't know. But it works, whether or not they designed it that way. Anyway, we're already getting kind of late in the video. Just wanted to do a follow-up review on this thing. Like I said, I would totally recommend it. If you're a Microtech fan, or if you just want a badass knife like this, totally recommend it. Anyways, if you guys want to see me take it apart, do that video. Let me know in the comments, write it down, and I guess we'll go from there. Alright, I'm out. Have a good day, guys.